check out what happens when this metalworker from Boise, Idaho branches out and gets artsy making a table.
This is where the metal meets the magic.
Next on That's Clever. Welcome back to That's Clever. We're on the road finding real people making really cool crafts. When this Idaho metal artist crafts his nature-inspired design, he lays it all out on the table.
Hi, my name's Alton Dean, and I'm from Boise, Idaho. And I'm a metal artist, and I make this. And I make this. And I make this. And today I'm going to be making this, a metal art tree table. I'm going to go into my studio and get started. Welcome to my studio. This is where the metal meets the magic. First thing I'm going to do is cut out my pattern and trace it onto the metal. The precision of a surgeon. Now I've traced my patterns out, I'm going to cut them out with my plasma cutter. Professor Plasma is ready to work. To hold my metal down, I'm going to use my C-grips. Even the best metal workers can blow a fuse. Such a tool. My sides are cut, and now I'm gonna bend my metal. I just better use the brake. My metal's nicely shaped. Now it's time to tack weld. Let's light this baby up. My tacking's done, and I'm ready to weld these sides together. I need to use some filler rods. The base is welded, and I've added a bottom. It's time for the daily grind. My base is all ground. Now I'm going to make the tray for the top. I'm going to use my snips to cut out my corners, and then I'm going to bend up the sides of my tray. My top has been shaped, welded, and ground. Now I'm going to weld it to the base. I've welded the top to my base. Now I'm going to cut out this sketch that I've made for the top of my table using my plasma cutter. I've cut my pieces out, sanded them down. Now I'm going to torch them for color. Now I'm cooking with gas. I've torched the sky, and it's looking pretty hot, if I do say so myself. Now I'm going to add some acid to the tree and the ground for color. I like to use acid because it changes the metal to the colors that I want. The tree's done, now I'm going to move on to the ground. I got into metal art because I was a union sheet metal worker by trade, and my wife and I were in Scottsdale, Arizona one time. She saw a beautiful piece of art that couldn't be duplicated. She asked me if I could do it, and I said, sure, I could do it. And I've been hooked ever since. My acid pieces are dry. Now I'm going to put some varnish in there to protect the color of the metal. I like to use this varnish because it's so thick and it does such a good job of protecting the metal. Also, it will contract and expand with ambient room temperature, so you can set hot drinks on it and not have to worry about the top. Voila! The varnish on this table is dried for 3 days, and now my metal art tree table is done.
Stay tuned. Alton will be back in his workspace to fire up another creation inspired by the outdoors. Check out how he bends and welds until he gets his point across. Now we're back in Alton's Boise, Idaho digs, and he's ready to get sizzling on another metal design. See how he lights up his garden with a little star quality.
I'm back, and this time I'm going to make this garden star. First thing I need to do to make my garden star is to trace out my pattern and then cut it out with my plasma cutter. I never do anything without my glasses. All my pieces are cut, now it's time to bend them in the brake. All my pieces are bent into shape, now I'm going to tack weld them together. My tack welds are done, now I'm ready to weld it together. The star has been welded and ground. I definitely think the ground put a twinkle in this star. My star's looking good, but I'm going to brush on some acid to give it a little bit of color. Now that the star is copper, I'm going to use another type of acid to give it a little bit of purple and blue. My garden star is done.
Look around. You might find a talented crafter right next door. They're everywhere, and you've just seen 3. Be sure to check us out next time and see what America's crafting on That's Clever.